Most people make a critical mistake when deciding whether to take a plea deal. They compare the plea to winning a trial. And that's not the choice because winning a trial is the best possible outcome. But that's not what the system's asking you to decide. You're being asked to choose between the plea and what happens if you go to trial and lose. And here's the part nobody tells you. That decision is being made inside of a system that is not evenly balanced. People think a plea deal is giving up. It's not. It's a compromise. It's both sides looking at risk and saying, let's resolve this now instead of gambling on trial. But here's the reality. That compromise doesn't happen on equal footing. One side has more power than the other, more resources, and less to lose if things go wrong. Let me show you what that looks like in practice. Plea negotiations are not like negotiating a car deal. Most of the time, the state sends a standard offer, boilerplate language, minimal in movement. From there, the defense is trying to persuade the prosecutor, hey, this case isn't as strong as you think it is, or this trial isn't worth your time. But the prosecutor doesn't have the same risk you do. If they lose, they move on to the next case. If you lose, you're the one facing prison. That imbalance shapes everything about how plea deals work. And then there's pressure. Prosecutors often stack charges, increase potential penalties, create a worst case scenario that makes trial feel extremely dangerous. I've seen cases where the pressure becomes personal. Threats to call family members as witnesses, deadlines that force decisions before you're ready. From the outside, it looks like a choice. From the inside, it often feels like being pushed. So what are you actually deciding? If you go to trial, you get your rights. You get to challenge the evidence, force the state to prove its case, but you are risking a conviction and everything that comes with it. Prison, a permanent record, loss of rights. And if you take the plea, you're giving up those rights and you're admitting guilt, even if you maintain you didn't do it. That's the trade. Here's where people make the mistake. They think, I'll just reject this and get a better deal later. That's not guaranteed. I've seen people reject a plea, get close to trial, and then want the deal back. But it's gone. At that point, the system has already moved forward, and now the risk is real. When you accept the plea, you're not just ending the case. You're giving something up, your right to a trial, your right to challenge witnesses, your right to remain silent, and often your right to appeal. That's not a small decision. That's a permanent one. There are times when saying no is absolutely the right call. When you're innocent, when the evidence is weak, when the deal is so bad that trial carries no additional downside. But that decision has to be strategic, not emotional. Because once you reject the deal, you have to be ready for trial, not for another offer. People also think that plea deals give certainty. Sometimes they do. Often they don't. Many plea agreements don't guarantee a specific sentence. They give a range, which means you're still relying on a judge. So you're not escaping uncertainty. You're changing the type of uncertainty that you're facing. My job isn't to tell clients what to do. It's to make sure that they understand the decision clearly, honestly, without sugarcoating the risks, because this isn't about hope. It's about making the best decision in a system that puts pressure on you to choose. So if you're facing this right now, remember this. You are not choosing between a plea and winning a trial. You're choosing between a plea and the risk of losing in a system that is not evenly balanced. And once you decide, there's usually no going back. I'm Joel Chorny. Remember, you have rights. They matter. Protect them. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.